Hello, beautiful people. Happy holidays. Happy Wednesday, right? We are in for a treat. We are in for a wonderful treat. And you come on in. Just let me know where you're coming in from. Where in the world are you? And then we will get going with the lovely Erica. But I'll let a few more people come in before I do an intro. So just let me know where you're all coming in from. Let me check the clock. We're a little early. So, wait, a couple more minutes? Or maybe we're not. I don't know. What time is it? 5 o'clock? 5 o'clock somewhere. So, I'm going to start chatting and then I'm going to bring Erica in. But as always, I have no production team. They're on vacation, so work with me. I begin, if you don't know who I am, I'm Chef Di. I do a chatting with Di where I interview people who teach me, inspire me, and make me laugh. So I always bring on an intro song and then an exit. If you can name the song, you win 2 tickets to Hawaii. Sharon? This is a very appropriate intro for Erica. Rita's in the house. Anyone name it? Move On Up. And why did I pick Move On Up for the intro? Because the wonderful Erica that we're about to introduce definitely knows how to move on up. So, Erica, what I need you to do, I'm going to do a little quick intro, and then I need you to, let me see if I can invite you. It's going to be a great chat. I'm so honored that Erica is able to find the time because oh my God. I haven't done the intro yet. So you have to sit here with me for a minute while we do the intro.
Take your time. Take your time.
Wait, I can't hear you.
Oh, hold on. Can you hear me okay?
I can't hear you.
How about now?
No.
How weird. My volume is all the way up.
Yeah, I need to make sure I can hear you. Hold on, people.
Okay.
Hold on.
Okay. So
Hold on.
Erica,
Let me see. I might have to. 1 minute.
Hi, Mina.
Very important that I hear you. If not, pod. Well, you all can hear her. So let me get my earpods. Hold on one minute. Y'all chat. Y'all chat.
Hi, friends. Mina, you're so cute. We just thought it'd be something fun to do. You'll feel Diana's passion is so palpable.
All right. So, you're not meant to be here, so pretend you're not here because I'm going to be gushing about you for a minute. And then we'll bring you on. All right. Can I hear? Everyone can hear me. Okay, so Erica, the lovely Erica who we're about to bring on. Growing up, Erica was always a natural-born athlete, had a real intuitive connection to her body. Moving into her professional career, she worked in the corporate world, specifically with law, and with one day dreaming of being an assistant district attorney. Her drive was always around justice, but more importantly, the truth. And while working in the corporate world, she always was drawn to her yoga practice. You see, I have my little yoga t-shirt for you. For 6 years, she juggled both love and lives and careers back and forth with the corporate world and her yoga love. And finally, she took the leap that very few people are willing to do to make her dream come true. And she left the corporate world. She left her comfort zone and she dove into the unknown. After numerous no's, people saying, no, 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 girl, please. that she could not do this or not do that. Thank God she didn't listen because she knew she could do it her way. She changed the focus on all she could create, and she did. Gathering all of her knowledge and training, she now has Kevin, I'm just trying to get two, and she got Kevin, revenue streams from class and private teaching in New York and New Jersey, workshops, teacher training program for other yogis, corporate wellness, mentorship, retreats around the world, as well as an inspiring newsletter and IG with multiple Dharma teachings and pearls of wisdom. I have been honored to take her class in New York, and it's truly something else. A playlist that keeps the vibe so high, rich with Dharma lessons, and a true hands-on teacher who is so generous and giving.
Thank you, Diana. I'm so grateful.
So that's all the gushing and everything. Yeah, we're so lucky she didn't stay in law. So as you beautiful people come in, just let me know where in the world you're coming from, and then I can get a feeling of the room.
My dear Joanna
All right.
and Mina are my friends from New York and New Jersey. I'm so happy they're here.
I love it. I love it. Just put in the chat where you're coming from. So, Erica, my love, you have been on quite a journey. New Jersey in the house, and yet with a true drive and focus, you have gotten to where you are today. How did you know that getting your feet on the mat for your own mind, body, and soul, and so many other students, was the right thing for you?
I think so. I know we spoke about this probably very briefly, Diana. I have always been just addicted to movement, and I was an athlete growing up, and I always just had this connection to my physical body. But there was a moment in time where I just felt like I wanted so much more from my movement practices. And although I think all styles are perfect, and I was a gym girl for a really long time, there was a point really in my early 20s where I just felt like I needed so much more. And this is just personal for me. I think all movement styles are incredible, but I knew for me intuitively, if I wanted to elevate to that next level of my wellness and my spiritual practices, I knew it had to just be solely focused on yoga and meditation to go to that next level. That was just what I knew I needed. And I am a very spiritual person. So for me, it just had to be, it couldn't be like those high intensity workouts. I really just needed, especially living in New York for so long, I needed to just really go inward and find stillness and let those other movement modalities kind of like fall by the wayside. And because once I really, really got into my yoga practice, I kind of let all those gym memberships go. So it was really like
It was clear.
just a very definitive decision. Like, okay, it's this way, like full steam ahead.
I think what it's probably your Capricorn nature, but you had the remarkable drive. And I have a puppy who I'm trying not to bark, but you have an incredible drive. And I think it was 6 years that you blended both the law and the yoga.
Exactly.
So by the end of that 6 years, when you took the leap of that crowd of people saying no, you would go in it. You knew, right? You
I
knew that
was.
your feet, yeah.
I was. And it was truly like the most intense 6 years of my life, like juggling both. But I had to be really smart, living in New York, being a single woman, I had to be so smart and like really strategic about, not making any rash decisions, leaving a corporate career behind.
Yeah.
And even though it was so intense, I was working literally 7 days a week for 6 years straight. But it was what I had to do to lay the groundwork. And I'm so grateful that I did. And I built a lot of my relationships during that time, especially with private clients. And it was just, at that point, I just had my 5-year anniversary since I fully took that leap of faith. Thank you. But it was literally like I had this internal deadline, and I kept moving the deadline up because I just got to a point in corporate America where it was like, crushing my soul to stay like one day longer. Like I just had to go.
You knew.
I knew it was time.
You knew.
I knew.
But I mean, I think I'm in awe of many things that you do, but I'm not in awe of my barking puppy. I apologize. But I'm in awe of how strategic and focused you were. You
Thank you.
busted your
Thank
butt, but
you.
you were like, you had your eye on the prize. You knew. And it's
Thank you.
really, oh, we got Kristen here from Australia.
Hi,
Yes.
friends.
All right.
And I think just Diana, that was like, and like you know, living in New York, like there's this energy in New York that is unparalleled. Like, and
Yeah.
that's why I have such a love for this city because I think so much. I think if I was living in another city, I think it is being a Capricorn definitely like gives me this crazy ambition. But I think the energy and the inspiration that I get from New York is also like a huge component
Yeah.
in building businesses. Like if I were anywhere else, I don't know if I would have that same hustle. There's just something so
Yeah.
specific about the energy here. I know for me, and I like feed off that energy. So I'm very grateful for it.
Yeah, we've talked about that New York fire. If you're in it, you love it and you get it.
It's
Yeah.
not for
I
everyone,
can't.
but it definitely is for me.
Yes. Okay, so number two. Not only do you teach private and group classes, but you give the gift of teaching other yogis a 200-hour teacher training and have over 75 graduates. You teach your students not only to be great teachers, but to be great business owners, which I think is brilliant. What is it about what you create that fills so many hearts, including yours, with the teacher training?
I think because my initial 200-hour certification myself and a couple subsequent ones early on in my career, they were just such profound life-changing experiences for me that I knew that was what I wanted to share. And the experience that I wanted to create from the very first teacher training was never about just leading other teachers to have these tools of teaching breath and movement. This 5-month container is so much more than just that. And I do think what I've learned over the years is that the real pulse, I think, of this experience, of this training, and what I continue to nurture and that evolves each year is I think the real pulse of this experience is confidence. And I think it's a blessing that my yoga practice has given me so wholeheartedly. And I'm so grateful that I've been able to share that because the friends that do graduate this program that do desire to teach, and that's never, of course, you don't have to desire to teach whatsoever, but those friends that end up teaching, everyone is really ready to hit the ground running and has so much confidence in them. And I do think that's my job, or that's the facilitator's job, to make sure that happens. So the real like meat and potatoes of what I always strive to offer, and the real pulse of this experience is that confidence, whether it's confidence in ourselves as individuals, but then also the confidence to safely lead classrooms if that's what you do desire to do.
Right. And also, you mentioned confidence, but I'm sure within your teacher training, you create such a great community so that when your students graduate, they kind of know, well, like, I've got this really great community
Oh my
supporting
God.
me. Yeah,
So
right?
well,
And they need that.
so well said, Di. And like that's actually one of my biggest passions that I didn't realize until I started hosting retreats and leading the teacher trainings, I didn't realize how much joy fostering community would bring me. And like you can ask some of the girls I think are on, like any graduate of this program, um, they're like lifelong friends that you create. Like it brings me so much joy when I see like some of the graduates, like, you know, in the specific groups, like continue these
You
relationships
got a lot of heart coming
and
up.
support each other and like, and just go out to dinner, and all these relationships just bring me endless joy because that's really part of what this fruitful experience is about. It's not just these tools, it's being around the power of like-minded people. And that can really enhance the experience so much when you are around people that desire to live consciously and live life awake and want to create similar lifestyles that just, I always share that difference between lives that look good and lives that actually feel good. And so much, and I created that little like that tagline in my very first training. But I think part of this teacher training unique experience is going so deeply inward during this container and creating lives that really feel authentic and high vibrational and good. And so much of that I know from my life is surrounding ourselves with people that are really vibrating on that same level.
I could talk to you forever. I really could. I just love talking to you. And for any people here, we're new friends, but like when I met her, I was like, I've known you in a past life. Like we were just like,
Hands down. Hands down.
the, what I love about that component is that when you think of yoga teachers, I don't know the percentage of people that are incredibly successful as a business owner. And because you have your corporate background and you've just got this brilliant sense, I mean, 7 revenue streams, brilliant sense of business ownership and entrepreneurship, that you in a really grateful way bring that into your training. And I think number one, I think it's very smart, but as I mentioned, I think it's very generous because I don't think enough people in this industry of wellness and woo woo and yoga realize you want to make money too,
And I
you
think
know.
that's a beautiful awareness. And I think what I sadly watch happen a lot in my industry is there are so many wildly talented teachers or even teachers turned business, yoga studio
Yeah,
owners. But I think that business component is so crucial. And I'm so grateful that over the years, and, to be totally transparent, it's been a lot of early on in my career, like with a lot of trial and error. I definitely made mistakes early on. I definitely spent money on things that I did not have
yeah,
to. So all of like the trials and tribulations, all of the things that I've learned over the years have really given me this ability to create this really robust. So we have like a business of the business of yoga module. And every year as my business and my offerings continue to grow, I then grow that module. So, and each year, like I'm almost like exceeding this 200-hour training because every year I just want to continue to add more value.
yeah,
And the business of yoga module is one of my favorite to teach. So it's just, if I could share what the experience from my corporate background, but then also my journey into entrepreneurship and all the things that I've learned, mistakes that I made early on, if I can share that, as part of this initial experience, I'm so grateful to do that. And I also, like, my mentorship program was created because of that. I realized what an opportunity there was in the market a couple of years ago. Sadly, I was approached by many yoga teachers in New York or all over that had graduated from other programs, but graduated and kind of confided in me and said, like, Erica, I made this investment. I have zero confidence in myself to teach and to go on audition. So that's where my mentorship was really birthed because
yeah,
I wanted to support teachers that graduated from other programs that needed more guidance and to build
yeah.
more confidence because they didn't have, that business component,
Yeah.
unfortunately, sometimes.
I love that. Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, I don't know enough about it, but I'm sure there's a ton. I mean, I was in Bikram for a while, but I know about that, and we're not going to talk about that. But I know that there's a lot of different teacher trainings, and the fact that you have students that have been like, but I don't feel confident. I may have the knowledge and the poses, but I don't have the confidence. to get in front of 10, 20, 30, 40 people and teach them. That's a huge component that you offer in your mentorship.
It's huge. And I think, and so that's the mentorship is on the side, but yeah,
Yeah,
in the
make a difference.
training, totally. Like it is my job, and everyone knows. Like when I attach my name to something, like I give 110% to everything. And anyone that's graduated this program knows, like I will make sure you have every single tool before you graduate to to make you a confident teacher, if that's where you desire to go.
Right, right. Oh, I love that. Okay, the next question I'm like, I'm heck with, and we're going to talk about retreat. So you are such an inspiration to me, but I truly love your story around creating retreats. You now host and lead retreats around the world, including a recent one in the south of France, Hunter Mountain, Menla Spa, and an upcoming one in May in Morocco. Oh, if I could only be there. So tell us about whatever you wanted to know about your retreats. How do you plan them? Do you partner? How do you create the vibe that's really you? Like how? How? Tell me all.
So it's funny because, and I think it just kind of happened organically. So after my passions for yoga, and music is a huge passion of mine too, I would say my three biggest passions in life are yoga, music, and travel. And so it just became like this organic progression or extension, my passion for traveling, that it would become the next like extension of my business. And I was actually on a couple of retreats with my sister. We talked about, I was in Rincon, Puerto Rico, and Tulum, Mexico, and I had these just deeply profound experiences really early on in my career. And I was like, I want to lead these for other people one day. And I have this incredible love. Like, of course, the local retreats are different than the international, but they're both just as powerful. And the work that we do on the mat, the 2 classes a day, are just as, embodied, whether we are on a 3-day local retreat or we are on a 7-day international retreat. I love them both the same. Really, the only difference is the international ones. We are, of course, immersed in the culture of the country that we're in. And of course, we're going on all of these, I call them shenanigans, but we're going on all of these excursions.
Oh,
So those are
while
different.
you're there.
Exactly. And each international one is different depending on the excursions that we plan. So of course, like the one in France, we did winemaking, we did castle touring, whereas like the ones in Mallorca were very driven towards paddleboarding and boating. And of course, the one in Morocco will do more of like the souks and riding the camels in the desert and doing,
So the
each one is so
the
specific.
one in Morocco, are you partnering with a local? Do you have any room? How many do you take?
Yes, I definitely have room right now. We have 2 beautiful big hotels, so there's plenty of room. I like to, for some of my international ones, if I can find a partner that I really trust. So for me, the way that I operate business always is like trust, integrity, ethics, like that is first and foremost always. Like I don't care how long you've been in the industry. I don't care who your
You have to have
friends
the
are.
connection. Yeah.
Yes, it has to be like a real, I always like follow my intuition. My intuition is always my best like moral compass. And so when I find those partners that I fully trust and I know operate in integrity the way that I do, I those are my people. And
Okay.
so my partner for this Morocco retreat, actually, this is probably the most authentic experiences out of all my international retreats, because Marianne, my partner, is actually Moroccan, and she basically is there several months of the year. So we are getting truly like A to Z, the most authentic
Oh,
experience.
I
And
love it. And how many do you like to have on these retreats? Does it matter depending on
It really
location?
it really depends on the location. Like the ones that are local, if I'm renting a private home, those are usually a bit smaller. So I would say on average, and then depending on some of the international ones, if we have the larger hotels, we do have more space. I would say on average, retreats are usually between 8 and 20, that's kind of like has been sort of my sweet spot.
I love it. Well, one day
I
I'll
can't
be
wait.
at one of your retreats. So, as I mentioned, you've been a practitioner for nearly 20 years. You've seen a lot and have had amazing teachers along the way. For me, I've always had a practice, but I haven't been consistent. This year, I treated myself to an amazing restorative yoga teacher training with the lovely Jillian Pransky. I had no idea what it was, but I just went in, and it was so transformative. It was actually what my body really needed, and I didn't even know what restorative yoga was. So, yoga nidra and restorative yoga are terms that I'm hearing a lot more. So, what are your feelings about those two terms? And who are some of the teachers that you would still love to learn
I
from?
love that question. So I'm so proud of you for doing that. That's an amazing experience that you had, it sounds like. I think,
Anyway,
especially in New York and especially with like so many type A personalities. So my style is vinyasa yoga, but I think any opportunity that anyone has to sort of explore a different opportunity. I think restorative is the most beautiful way to complement sometimes the more fast-paced,
yep,
powerful, or vigorous yoga practices. So restorative can literally just be 6 postures that are extended from 5+ minutes each posture that are fully supported with all of the props. Yoga Nidra is a little bit different. Yoga Nidra is really like a yogic sleep where or a really deep meditation. Yoga Nidra, you're basically hovering in that state of consciousness that's like right above falling asleep. And
very fine line.
absolutely. And it can just be like such a gorgeous reset for the nervous system. And especially if you live a very, fast-paced,
Yeah,
stressful life,
yeah.
it's great for New Yorkers. I try to drop into a restorative class like once or twice a month as a nice balance. And even if you're not a yogi, I think just even if you are someone who maybe is into more of those high intensity workouts, a restorative yoga practice, even if you don't have a normal, like a regular mixed level practice, can be such a nice way to just reset your entire body mentally, emotionally, and physically.
I agree on everything. It actually was one of the greatest gifts that I've ever given to my body. And I knew nothing, and my body was like purring. It was just exactly what I needed. Um, okay, so Healing Fully, Living Freely is the name of my business. I'm a health coach and I'm a chef. And I love to ask all of my guests, what does healing fully, living freely mean to you?
I absolutely love this question, Di, and I think actually our businesses and services and how we would answer this question are probably very similar.
Oh,
So
totally.
I have a very big passion for, well, one, Ayurvedic practices, and the the problem that I have, I think when it comes to healing fully, I actually have a very passionate response about this because I don't love a lot of Western medicine. I think there's a lot that can be done very differently in our country. So when I love this idea of healing fully, to me is looking at the body from that holistic approach and not just the external, not just the surface layer, not just the physical. I think to really have sustainable and full healing, it has mental, emotional, spiritual. I think what happens in this country and in Western medicine, very sadly, is that, not all, but many practitioners and are just throwing these temporary band-aids and just throwing these medications at the problem, and they're not solving anything because they're not getting to the root cause. I have watched endless journeys and heard many very unfortunate stories of just, these doctors that are not, whether it's not properly diagnosing the body as a whole and not looking at internal factors as well. And I think if we're not tackling, you know, our emotional self, our mental health, as well as the physical, so many ailments and injuries and, God forbid, diseases on an internal level, on a cellular level, in terms of the energetic body, are what sometimes can manifest physically. So I'm a huge advocate and believer in Eastern medicine, in Ayurvedic practices, and really getting to the root cause of the issue in order to heal the entire system.
Drop the mic, people. Drop the mic.
Oh, that was
I love that I love that answer. And I think, for anyone who doesn't know me, I've been through a world of health issues. And I think the greatest gift that I could have gotten is the word curiosity. When a doctor says, oh, you have blah, 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 but I don't know why. I'm going to find out why. Or the doctor says, you have blah, blah, blah. Well, I don't think you're right. It's that curiosity.
yeah.
They're trained, they went to school, blah, blah, blah. But I'm educated. Maybe I can learn, and maybe together we can form a partnership around my health instead of you dictating what I need to do. I like the word partnership.
I
I'm very
love
much
that.
into like collaboration and partnership.
I love that. And you know better than anyone. I mean, your story has so much of this influence and like those common denominators in your
I
story.
had to, yeah, I had to. So, we're gonna wrap up, but a couple things. I want to know where we can find you. I want to know what's coming up in 2024, and then, if time, I want to throw a couple words and just like do a round robin.
You got it.
So, where
So
can we find you?
my bestest website is same handle as Instagram, just ericastanzioneyoga.com.
Okay.
And I always have upcoming retreats on there. I do have for anyone that's New Jersey based, or it's actually really only 30 minutes out of Manhattan, I have a workshop on New Year's Day at Flow Yoga. It's called Unleash Your Greatness. Really special 2-hour workshop to start the
Good
year
way
very
to
strong.
begin the year. Good
Amen.
way.
And then I have the Morocco retreat in May that I'm so excited about. Teacher training starts the end of January. So
Do you
we're
need
we're
anyone
going
to carry your luggage?
You're so
I mean,
cute.
shine your shoe. I don't
Oh my
know.
God. We're gonna get you. We're gonna share one together in the
I know.
future. I cannot
We're
wait.
gonna do one. All right, so
I cannot
let's
wait.
throw some of these words and just whatever comes up. Are you
Okay.
ready? Surrender.
I mean, that's huge for yoga. I think being able to relinquish control, whether it's surrendering, right, the engagement in the body, that could be monumental. Surrendering on an emotional level is, you
I,
know,
it's
accepting
everything.
what is
It's
everything.
everything. You know what? I'm gonna say it here because I'd love to know everyone's feedback. I have a really cool friend who's a love coach. And when I was listening to your podcast interview with, I'm not gonna remember her name, but it was like in March, and you talked a lot about love and relationships. I thought, wouldn't it be great if we get the two of you to either do a workshop or a talk here about yoga and love
Oh,
and relationships? Wouldn't that be cool?
I would love that. I am so open-minded to all of these things.
Yeah, what do we think? We want to have a conversation with two people about yoga and love.
Let's,
Anyone?
yeah,
I think it would be great. I'll connect you with Whitney. All right, word number two, cleansing.
I am huge for, I mean, whatever works for you. Like, I mean, I'm not a big, like, in terms of, like, I don't do like a lot of juice. That's like, that's
Right.
not
No,
me. My,
you mentioned it in the interview, the last
oh,
podcast that you were on.
energetic cleansing,
Yeah,
1,000%. Like, I do
yeah,
think
that's what I meant.
all the work that we do to in terms of our energetic body and our seven
Yeah,
energy centers,
yeah.
I think that has been monumental in my practices of how we release blockages of our chakras, how we open, activate, heal. Those things are, well, coincide flawlessly with the yoga practice, but I think just really set the tone for how we show up in the world, how we feel, how we operate, the
I love
vibration
that.
that we operate at.
I love that. intuition?
My intuition has been my greatest teacher of my life. And even when I was much younger and I wasn't following it as much, I will always encourage everyone to never second guess it, never doubt it. It is an invaluable tool that gets louder the more consistent we are with our yoga practice and our meditation practices. It is a tool that can so strongly be finessed and fostered, and I'm grateful for mine every single day. It has never steered me wrong, even in those uncomfortable moments.
Look
Trust your
at you
intuition
now.
ways. Thank
Look
you.
at you now.
Trust that voice, guys.
All right, two more. The next one is really overplayed, but I love to hear how everyone relates to it. Community.
I love the word community because it's a huge part of what I do. And maybe I think it's hard to find words, even if it isn't an overused word. I think it's hard to find. It's just a feeling for me. Like I don't attach too much. I try not to attach to words too much, but the feeling that comes through community is just, it's heart to me. It's when you really can find those aligned communities, there's nothing like it.
It's like being home.
Exactly, that allow you to be perfectly said, like that allow you to be seen in a really meaningful way and heard. If you can find those places and spaces, follow those and stay with those people forever.
I hear you. All right, I'm throwing one in for the loop. December 7th, 2018.
That was that was my anniversary. That was when I left corporate and I was scared out of my mind. The scariest thing I've ever done in my life, but the best leap of faith ever. So if anyone, that ends up seeing this, is navigating something similar, that was also where I just had to trust, despite all the fears, trust your intuition. It was the scariest jump decision I've ever made in my life, but ultimately, of course, the best. So
And look at you now. Oh, honey, I love you. I have
I
a
love.
feeling this is part one of many parts. I'm going to say goodbye to you, and then I'm going to do the
Oh my
closing.
God! Thank you, friends, so much for
Yeah,
joining.
thank you all of Erica's
Thank you,
fans and
Di.
friends
Oh
and
my God,
students. Hang in
you're a
there, Erica.
gem.
Wave goodbye, and
Thank
I'll
you,
close
guys.
out.
Thank you so much,
Love
Di.
you
Love
all.
you. Bye.
Wow. Wow. Like, wow. I really think that's going to be part one of many, many parts with Erica. I thank you all. I have a feeling that a lot of you are Erica graduates or fans or family or friends. So I thank you all for coming on. If you don't know who I am, I'm Di. I'm Chef Di, and I do a Chatting with Di where I interview. Thank you, Zoe. You're following me. I do a Chatting with Di where I interview people who teach me, inspire me, and make me laugh. I do definitely want to think I'm going to get Whitney, the love coach, and Erica together, maybe do a yoga and love workshop. And I always begin with a song and I end. So we're going to end with what I think Erica embodies. Erica is someone who, when she puts her mind to it, she focuses, buckles down, and she makes it happen. So, I mean, hello, I kind of gave it away. Production team, what do you think I'm playing, people? She makes it happen. She really does. I'm like so honored to call her my friend and my teacher. Erica makes it happen. And I hope she inspires all of you to follow your dream and make it happen. Yes, I have a puppy. Anyone want a puppy? All right, Frankie. Right? Make it happen. We all have a lot on our plate. There's a lot going on. But if you have a dream, you have something in your gut, an intuition like Erica talked about, something that you really want, listen to Mariah. Look into Erica. Look into your beautiful gut. Shake your tail feather. And make it happen, people. Make it happen. All right, go dance. Yeah, I know. I still have my tree. Anyway, love you all. Honored to have you here. Follow me. You want a puppy? Bye, beautiful.